What's up guys, it's Cam coming at you from the 2-6. Welcome back to Carolina Fragrance Reviews. So the concept of today's video is about designer fragrances, but not just any designer fragrances. Let's just say that we had to hit reset and start all over again. Now, there's been some fragrances from yesteryear that I really love, but if I had to go by what I have learned through this fragrance journey and just have them tidbits of knowledge to give me like the perfect, well-rounded top 10 for every occasion that would probably get me by for quite some time, I think I've got the right 10 for you today. Let's get into this. Before we get into it, I want to give a big shout out to today's sponsor. It's www.myfragrancesamples.com. Be sure to go to myfragrancesamples.com and check out the new top 10 summer fragrances from CFR that is available on My Fragrance Samples website. These will be 10 of my favorite summertime fragrances that'll be mixed up with some indie, niche, and designers. So you get a nice little mixture in there. Be sure to check it out and always keep in mind, sample before you buy. So I did struggle just a tinge with this, so I'm going to give like one honorable mention. Be glad because it was like 5 honorable mentions to begin with, so I did narrow it down to just one. And I feel like this is an extremely versatile fragrance. This is of course Yves Saint Laurent L'Homme. This is just a really clean, uplifting fragrance that is based around the note of ginger. It also has a little bit of spiciness with some pepper, but it also has bergamot, tonka bean, and vetiver. Now this could be easily a signature scent after the gym, even date night, because it is a very, very compliment garnering fragrance. I was gonna have it in the top 10, but oh well, it is what it is. But this would also be perfect, you know, for summertime. So I replaced it with a strictly summertime fragrance. So now let's get into the meat and potatoes. And of course, these are in no particular order. These are just fragrances I feel will just fit a hole somewhere of what you would need. And of course, lots of us do like, you know, having something special to wear for date night. And of course, this one's gonna be ideal for that. Also signature scent worthy. This is another one from Yves Saint Laurent. It's Lannweed de L'Homme. Now, I know a lot of people have seen this fragrance, especially, you know, like a couple of years ago, 3 years ago. It was getting a lot of play, but for good reason. It is very, very effective. It's masculine, it's sexy, it's seductive. This is another fragrance that is, you know, revolved around one of those spices like the L'Homme that I was talking about. That one is centered around ginger. This one is centered around cardamom. So other than cardamom, this one has some cedar, some amber, and some lavender. It also has just a really, really, really sexy mass appeal about it. Absolutely perfect for that date night. Absolutely perfect for like that job interview. Now, again, I've mentioned this in the past. Now, it may not be like appropriate to wear fragrance at work. Check and see, you know, like find out, you know, if you're going for an interview or if you already know once you've gotten a job, this is, you know, the type of fragrance that you would wear with a suit, something dressed up, you know, especially like, you know, like if in sales or something like that. This would be absolutely perfect and you will come off extremely masculine and extremely sexy. Now the next fragrance is definitely out for summertime unless you just really want to project and just wear something super dark. This is John Varvatos Vintage. This is actually the very first John Varvatos fragrance I bought. I still love it today. You've got some wormwood, you've got some rhubarb. It also has some tobacco, some suede, and it also has some pepper in here, some cinnamon. It's kind of a spicy, woody fragrance that does have like a soft leather note, that suede in here. This is my, I've mentioned it before, so this is like my leather jacket fragrance I like to wear like in the fall and the winter. Also perfect to wear with a suit, also suitable for date night. But I would suggest maybe with this one for date night, make sure that, you know, like if whoever you're going out with is, you know, let them smell it. Let them smell it on you. You know, unless, you know, if it's first date, I mean, roll the dice. It is a compliment garnering fragrance. I would try that, but, you know, I'm just trying to help you guys out, being that you might be new. Just test it out and see how it works for you first. Now the next fragrance is king of date night, you know, right there with Lannweed de L'Homme. I'm sure some of you might be able to guess who it is, or what it is. I was thinking who it is with. All right. So yeah, y'all know it is Dolce & Gabbana, the one Eau de Parfum. I've talked about this fragrance a few times. I mean, as a matter of fact, when I first launched this fragrance channel, I was kind of like burnt out on this because so many people talked about it. But it's not in as many lists as it used to be, so I do find this to be a very attractive, sexy, alluring fragrance. It also has a little bit of brightness, so you know, definitely springtime would be okay for this. Maybe even summertime, just depending on, you know, if it's during the day or in the evenings. In the evening lighter application, this would probably work just fine. Definitely a compliment magnet and very, very masculine and sexy. Now, some of the notes on the one Eau de Parfum is ginger, orange blossom, cardamom, tobacco, and cedar. So it's a very warm, spicy, woody fragrance with that tobacco that just gives it that sexy edginess and a little bit of that orange blossom and ginger to give it a nice pop off the top. Now, of course, what list would be complete without a blue fragrance? I don't think there would be. If you're wanting those mass appealing fragrances, of course, you're going to need at least one blue fragrance, and I say go with the OG, and I'm talking about Chanel's Bleu de Chanel. This was released in 2010 and it just works. I do enjoy the Eau de Parfum and the Parfum. I know some people are partial one way or the other. The EDT works just fine. Now, this is a very easygoing, aromatic, and sexy. Some of the notes in this are mint, ginger, nutmeg, patchouli, and cedarwood. I still, to this day, absolutely love this fragrance. I don't care what anybody says. Masculine fragrance is going to work for every and any occasion, any time of the year. It's signature scent worthy. Fine to wear in the high heat, fine to wear in the winter, it doesn't matter. This is the Swiss Army knife of fragrances, and you need one of those fragrances that just work for any occasion. That dumb reach fragrance, this is going to do it, will work every single time. So the next fragrance is going to be a really warm and spicy fragrance. It's going to be more suitable for the fall and the winter. Has a really good vanilla note, just a nice smoky aspect to it. It is Issey Miyake Pulse of the Night. This was like by far one of the best releases for 2019 as far as the designers go. It is a little bit harder to find this fragrance at a good deal. When you look for Issey Miyake fragrances, you'll see that some of them go very inexpensive. Now, those of you who are familiar with Issey Miyake, you know that especially on their, their fall and winter, more centric type fragrances, they really do a fantastic job. Their fresh fragrances are fantastic as well. It is a lot harder to get like a super niche smell for, like spring and summer, but Issey Miyake, as far as like an inexpensive designer, the quality is second to none, especially for their fall and winter fragrances. Now on the top, you're gonna get some frankincense. There's also some tonka bean in here. And then you're gonna get some patchouli and some really creamy sandalwood mixed with vanilla. Warm, spicy, sexy, seductive. I find it to be very sexy. It is very much a compliment garnering fragrance. Somebody did ask me the other day if it was like a panty dropper. I can't vouch for that. I have got compliments from it, so if you've had any experience with that, hey, that's great. I'm proud of you. Now, ironically, I did not do this on purpose. I guess I just gravitated towards where my brain was going. This is the one that was running neck and neck with the Pulse of the Night for best designer releases of 2019. It is Armani Code Absolute. I have brought this fragrance up a few times, but rest assured, I still feel very strongly about this fragrance. If you guys are familiar with the Code Profumo, it's very sweet, just really good. But to me, this one is a little bit more grown up. There's a little bit of an earthiness to this. You definitely can detect some of that original Code DNA in here, which is really good. I remember the first time that I smelled the original Code and I was just blown away. It was a signature scent. And then they had several flankers that weren't all that bad, and I've revisited some of them, and I'm like, okay, like Colognes, I smelled that one the other day. I was like, dang, I forgot how good that fragrance is, but that's going to be more for like this time of year, where I feel that the Absolute, you might be able to get away with it a little bit in the summertime, but maybe more or less like fall, winter, and spring. But hey, I'd say signature scent worthy. You probably, if you just go light on application, if you use it in 105-degree weather like we're having right now. So some of the notes on this are green apple, green mandarin, tonka, vanilla, and suede. You also have some carrot seeds to give it that earthy vibe. Just a really masculine, you know, a little bit slightly more mature fragrance, but I think a younger guy could still get away with this. When I say younger, I mean, you know, like 18, 19, 20. I think this would still work just fine. If you want something that's a little bit more youthful, get the Profumo. That one is sweet. That's a clubbing fragrance. I mean, if you're out on the prowl, if you are even allowed to do that wherever you live. I know some countries are up and running, and I want to see that here in the US. There are ways of handling this to get everybody back to school, to get everybody back to work, going out and having fun. You know, just common sense goes a long way, and I'll be glad when we can just go about our daily business as usual. So I did want to pick like a actual clubbing fragrance, or one that I'd wear to the club anyway, even though I hadn't been to the club in it's been a while. It's been a while. But this is a fun, sexy, flirty fragrance. You guys know I love it if you've followed the channel for any amount of time at all. It is Paco Rabanne 1 Million Lucky. So 1 Million Lucky is teeter-tottering in gourmand territory. They may be a little more towards gourmand. It does have grapefruit on the top note, but you also have some hazelnut, some plum, some cedarwood. Just a really well put together fragrance. Absolutely adore it. Perfect clubbing fragrance, date night fragrance, will pull compliments. I would almost stamp guarantee, as long as you're an outgoing person, have the type of personality that goes with compliments. So the next fragrance is going to be pretty much summer centered. This is a inexpensive fragrance that just absolutely works, and I keep going back to it, especially with this. Gosh, you guys have no idea how freaking hot it was today. I mean, legit. I ain't gonna get into how much I sweated today. I'm talking about Azzaro Chrome Aqua. This is just a fun aquatic fragrance that you can wear to the beach, hanging out with your friends, cutting grass, cooking out on the grill, whatever the case may be. This is, I mean, for an inexpensive fragrance, it's a very, very good fragrance that is very effective. I'd even say it's like signature scent worthy for the summertime. Some of the notes in this are bergamot, basil, and vetiver. Those are the three primary notes in this fragrance. Very effective. I don't know how many times I say effective, 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 but it's effective. In case you didn't know if it was effective, it's effective. So this next fragrance, I just had to go back and forth and back and forth. I knew it had to be from this line. I am talking about Armani, or Giorgio Armani Acqua di Gio. I started to go with the original. Have you guys noticed anything about it not, you know, maybe being a little bit weaker, a little bit? I haven't heard anything about any reformulations. I don't know if I got a bunk bottle, but it doesn't smell as good as I remembered. So I just want to smell that, and it had been a while since I had broke out the Profumo. That's that DNA that I love. Now I know, wait a minute, I know you guys love Absolute, I do too. Even though like everybody hated on that fragrance, I love it. So we'll put that as an option if you want. But this is a DNA that I absolutely fell in love with, and so many other people did as well. It opens up with like some salty marine notes. It also has some added patchouli and incense to the Profumo. That's pretty much, you know, the only difference, which gives this, even though this one is older, it's a little bit more modern than the actual original. And then of course, you know, Absolute is a slight different twist. It's, you know, basically like fruit and woods, which gives it a nice dimension as far as, you know, like a fresh marine type fragrance. But this one, again, this is another one that you can just wear any time of the year. Shines like you would not believe in the summer and spring, but it's fine to wear in the fall and winter. To the office, it's going to be non-offensive, but this is going to be the best performing out of the Acqua di Gio line. So Profumo is like aquatic and spicy and woody, masculine as all get out, just really, really good. Some of the notes in this are bergamot, sage, rosemary, incense, and patchouli. Absolutely perfect Swiss Army knife fragrance again. Now, I don't know if I did this just by, like subconsciously, because it is just like one of my all-time favorite designer fragrances. One that I absolutely could not live without and have went through multiple bottles. I'll let you guess. Yeah, you're right. It is Chanel Allure Homme Sport O Extreme. And of course, you don't have to get the O Extreme one. A lot of people like the Chanel Allure Homme Sport. If that's, your deal, absolutely. The entire Allure line is fantastic. I have owned every single flanker from this line, and they just get better and better. Even though they have not released a new one in quite some time, it's probably because it'd be hard to beat this one, I would imagine. Compliments galore, perfect for every occasion, date night, signature scent, any time of the year. The tonka bean in here makes it fine for fall and winter when the mandarin and the top citrus fresh notes on the top are perfect for spring and summer. If I was to describe this fragrance, I would call it like a fresh musk scent with some mandarin, cypress, musk, and tonka. So musk is a note that is perfect year-round. If it's a clean musk, that's what type of musk this is. The tonka bean is gonna make it really nice for fall and winter. Then you've got that bright mandarin mixed with that cypress. It just works really well in the summertime and in the spring. I absolutely adore this fragrance. I did not pick it as number one because I said they were not in any particular order, but it would not be unusual for me to stick this as number one. As a matter of fact, look how beat up this bottle is. It goes with me a lot. It just works, and I will not ever be without this fragrance at all. As a matter of fact, it's probably getting close to, yep, sure is getting close to having to buy another one. So let me know down in the comments how you would build your top 10 list with the knowledge that you have now. Unless you're new to the game, just put together a perfect top 10 list to start all over again that you would recommend to somebody else to fill out that perfect top 10 designer list. Until next time, I'll see you on Carolina Fragrance Reviews.